Good afternoon. It is good to have you join us on Nationwide. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. In order to promote constructive conclusion of dialogue between the federal government and the organized labor over electricity tariff, federal government has directed Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) to reverse the recent adjustment in electricity tariff until the end of the year of January 2021. In a statement, Minister of Power Saleh Mamman says that the decision is to allow for the outcome of the resolutions from the Labor Ad Hoc Committee to be implemented together. Federal government says it is committed to creating a sustainable, growing and rules-based electricity market for the benefit of all Nigerians. A total of 2,600 women in Nasarawa State have become the latest beneficiaries of the 20,000 Naira cash support by the Federal Ministry of Nigerian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Joshua Kibu reports.
The beneficiaries are from Lafia, Nasarawa, Wamba, Akwanga and Kokona local government areas of Nasarawa State.
This assistance to rural women will go a long way in helping our rural women. A woman that has never seen 5,000 of her own, today she will receive 20,000 Naira.
Minister for State Science and Technology Mohammed Abdullahi, who conducted the ceremony, says the cash grant is to enhance the welfare of the poor and vulnerable households.
A total of 2,600 beneficiaries are to benefit from the cash grant of 20,000 Naira each in Nasarawa State to uplift the socio-economic status of the rural woman.
He notes that Nasarawa State has so far received more than 3 billion Naira support from federal government to assist rural women enterprises. Nasarawa State government says government will sustain women empowerment through entrepreneurship development and training. The cash grant disbursement is a component of the federal government social investment program to empower the vulnerable groups in the country. In Lafia, Joshua Kibu, NTA News.
The U.S. Congress has affirmed Joe Biden's election victory after pro-Trump protesters stormed the U.S. Capitol, wreaking havoc. Joyce Ometu, who has been monitoring the situation, reports that President Trump has now committed to an orderly transition on 20th January.
Proceedings resumed at about 8 p.m. with Vice President Mike Pence bringing the Senate session back into order after a chaotic day of protests and violence which earlier halted the joint session of U.S. Congress for several hours. Despite the events, the U.S. Congress affirmed Joe Biden as the next president of the United States after the certified 270 Electoral College votes.
Joseph R. Biden, Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes.
Following these events, Donald Trump has committed to a peaceful transition of power for the first time. In a statement from the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Trump announced he totally disagreed with the outcome of the election, but confirmed that there will be an ordinary transition on January 20th, 2021. In the meantime, Americans and some world leaders have reacted to the demonstrations which claimed the lives of 4 people and led to a 6 p.m. citywide curfew in the capital. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson condemned the attack, saying, "The United States stands for democracy around the world, and it is now vital that there should be a peaceful and orderly transfer of power Former President Barack Obama declared that violence was incited by a sitting president and says Capitol riots will be remembered as a moment of shame for the nation. In France, Emmanuel Macron has also condemned the attacks, saying what happened is not America. From New Zealand, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern tweeted that democracy should never be undone by a mob. Police said 2 pipe bombs were found near the Democrat and Republican Party headquarters and firearms recovered, while about 52 people have so far been arrested. People describe the event as a dark day for American democracy. Joyce Ometu, NTA News.
Now, the continuous national identity number registration may be set back a bit as staff of the National Identity Management Commission have embarked on nationwide strike. The striking government officials are reportedly demanding for better compensation in the face of COVID-19 and non-payment of promotion allowances. Let's now join ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson, who is live at the commission to get details on the development. Joseph, what is the state of things at the NIMC headquarters?
You're right. I'm at the headquarters of National Identity Management Commission, where the staff union in the commission, under the aegis of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, called on its members to proceed on strike beginning today, January 7th, with the quote that all staff are to report at their duty posts, but do nothing. From what we have gathered here, when we got here, the grounds of the union against the federal government borders on the state of limited enrollment centers across the country, especially with the second wave of coronavirus pandemic being experienced at the moment. There is relative calm now, but nothing is actually happening here. If you were here 2 hours or 3 hours earlier, you would have seen the staff protesting and seeking to be heard. There was a sense of bitterness because you can tell from their chants and faces. But a little earlier, I spoke with the chairman of the association that NIMC unit as the Tokai Lucky, during which he lamented that some staff of the commission have been infected with COVID-19 and alleged that the management has not taken adequate measures to curtail the spread of the virus and ensure the safety of essential staff at enrollment centers. But on the flip side, because if you check NIMC's official Twitter account, you will see a tweet that indicates that the commission have distributed COVID-19 protective materials, or PPE, to all the executive states and the SP2. So it's rather very confusing because you can't really decipher what the ideal situation here. Although the chairman of the association also mentioned poor salary structure as one of the reasons for the strike.
Now, Joseph, hold on a little bit. Let's cross over now to Simbiat Agbaji, who is in Makudi, to tell us the situation with what is going on there, especially in Benue State. Simbiat, can you please bring us up to speed with this same situation?
Good evening, Ayodeji.
Yeah.
Earlier today, when I got to the National Identity Management Commission office, I met a crowd of people who complained that they were not being attended to, despite being here for hours. Some even say they came from other local government areas within the state. I spoke to the Association of Senior Civil Servants chairperson. He said, Mr. Yangi Peter, who said that they are complying to the directive of the national headquarters in Abuja. I also am at the office right now, and I noticed that no service at all is being rendered. Some of the union members are still at the gate to enforce the strike. However, people are still hanging around to see if they will be attended to. The zonal coordinator also said the strike action was as a result of unpaid allowances, just like my colleague said, and general staff welfare and other issues. But he is hoping that soon the matters will be addressed and they will go back to work as usual. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Cynthia. Let's go back now to Joseph because you are in Abuja at the moment, Joseph Johnson, and we can have some of the pictures right now on the screen. We can see a lot of people converging out there at NIMC office, and we don't really know what the situation at the moment. And we also understand that the minister was there earlier today. What is your reaction to that? And of course, are there any reactions to the demand of the staff?
I agree. Yes, it was pretty rowdy here a few hours ago, like I did mention. But about now, it's pretty calm. Almost nobody, seated here on like what my colleagues said. There are some people still hanging around, but here it's pretty empty here. But the minister did come earlier, but he did not speak to the press. So we saw him walking to the Director General's office, and understandably, they had a close door meeting. But the details of that meeting are still not made more public to us.
Joseph Johnson, ICT correspondent, thank you for your contribution, of course, bringing us up to speed, as well as Simbiat Agbaji in Makudi. Let's move on nationwide now. It's time to join Salamatu in Kaduna for the next set of reports.
Thank you, Ayo, and welcome to Kaduna. National Identification Management Commission in Kaduna State says mobile subscribers in the state will be captured before the expiration of the deadline of the ongoing NIN registration. The state coordinator, Abubakar Hassan Muhammad, gave the assurance in Kaduna. Adamu Sunday, who went around some of the registration centers, bring back this situation report.
Subscribers jostling for new registration. This is the situation at the centers as they struggle to beat deadline.
This is my third time of coming here. When I came here for the last time, they said that they are not working. Today we have been here since 6 o'clock in the morning. I gave them the number that they gave me. When I gave them, they said that my computer have error, so I have to restart again.
Almost 3 days now, and the queue are too much. Up to now, I've not done my name's registration.
In spite of the crowd, the state coordinator, National Identification Management Commission, Abubakar Hassan Mohammed, assured of the commission's readiness to deliver on its obligations.
The work is going very smooth. We are enrolling from 10 to 12,000 per day, and in a week, like 70,000. And we work Saturday, Sunday, non-stop, so that we can be able to capture more number of people and before the deadline.
In the meantime, non-adherence to COVID-19 safety guidelines here is a matter of concern. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has instructed mobile operators in the country to block all SIMs without national identification numbers (NIN) from their networks at the expiration of the deadline issued to all subscribers to register. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
Beneficiaries of the extended special public work of the federal government have been tasked to execute their mandate diligently and ensure proper utilization of the stipend they will receive for the next 3 months to start up businesses of their choice. This was the message of the Acting Director General, National Directorate of Employment, Malam Abubakar Nuhu, during the flag-off of the program in Kanu. Yohannes Hassan Barrow has the details.
Launched in the year 2020 in 8 states of the Federation, the Extended Public Works is initiated by the present administration to assist the poor and vulnerable from the ravaging effects of the novel coronavirus and the target to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. In Kano State, 44,000 poor and vulnerable are to receive 20,000 naira monthly stipends and a startup pack for maintenance work, including drainage clearing, vegetation control, irrigation, feeder roads maintenance, among others. Just like Idris Adamu, Muhammad Yusuf is also among the beneficiaries who, despite his challenge, determined himself to stand out among his counterparts to participate in the program.
Thank the federal government for making it very inclusive, whereby a few number has been given to our members.
Commending the federal government for the laudable initiative, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje said it will no doubt yield positive results not only in Kano but the nation at large.
I feel highly delighted on yet another historic occasion in our continued effort to make our teeming youth self-reliant. The strategy is intended to facilitate the creation of productive, inclusive societies in our nation.
The program, which is targeted to support people like Yusuf, is expected to last for 3 months. In Kano, Johannes Asambaro, NTA News.
And that ends our package from Kaduna. We'll go on a short break. Thereafter, Nationwide continues.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
A new edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Logo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification, but good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced 1,664 new cases of COVID-19 as community spread of the virus increases across the country. Of the 1,664 new infections, Lagos has 642, the FCT 407, Plateau 160, Kaduna 83, Rivers 62, Adamawa 47, Nasarawa 38, Abia 29, Edo 28, Anambra 27, Niger and Ogun states have 24 cases each, Imo 15, Oyo 14, Kano and Osun confirmed 12 each, Borno 9, while Delta and Enugu have 7 new infections each. Others are Bauchi, Ekiti and Sokoto with 5 each, and Jigawa has 2 new cases. A total number of confirmed cases in Nigeria has risen to 94,369, with 77,299 patients discharged, and some unfortunate 1,324 deaths recorded so far. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has formally engaged Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State as the second wave of COVID-19 bites harder in the center of excellence. The discussions, amongst others, also centered on efforts at rebuilding Lagos State after the mayhem and destruction of property that came in the wake of last EndSARS protests in parts of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
This is the second time in 2 months President Muhammadu Buhari will be engaging Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on COVID-19 and the EndSARS protest, both of which started from Lagos State. On COVID-19, for instance, now in its second wave, Lagos remains the epicenter, recording in just the last 2 days nearly 1,500 confirmed cases of the global pandemic, a situation the governor described as worrisome.
On COVID, it's actually a very serious case. We've all said it, we're the second wave, and incidentally, the second wave seemed to be a lot more infectious than the first one. And we're seeing positive rates of about 25, sometimes 30%. So that is actually very disturbing. And we've seen, unfortunately, the amount of fatality, around the country, even in Lagos. And so one of the things that we've realized that a lot more people require, oxygen, attention. They need breathing, additional oxygen breathing. So we have started building what we call oxygen tents, oxygen facilities. We're building about 10 of such facilities. I think we've commissioned about 4 or 5, of them. And we're also building proper oxygen plants, additional 2 oxygen plants in the state, so that we can meet, the respiratory requirements. We understand the virus more than where we are 10 months ago or 8 months ago. So we know what the treatment should be.
On his efforts at rebuilding Lagos State after the devastation suffered in the wake of the EndSARS protests, the governor said already owners of small businesses affected have started receiving grants and soft loans to enable them come back together as soon as possible, while proper study is underway on devastated infrastructure and transportation facilities for necessary action. Discussions also centered on collaborative efforts Lagos State can enjoy with the federal government as regards the various economic opportunities that abound in the state.
Like you all know, Lagos is the commercial nerve center of the country, and so we need to, very early in the year, start up on economic programs and in activities that can improve not only our foreign direct investment, but also make Lagos, an investor destination in the country. So there are a few things that are brought to his notice, a few projects that are brought to his notice, and how we can collaborate, with the federal government, and also a few future projects said that we're praying that he comes around, and help us commissioning. He took very detailed notes. I was actually very, very, very happy. He took very detailed note and has given assurances that some of the points I've put up with him, I will be seeing some call-up or some follow-up, either through the Chief of Staff or through some of the agencies of the federal government.
Governor Sanwo-Olu said the security situation in Lagos State was also analyzed and the best way forward charted towards making the nation's commercial nerve center a lot more business-friendly. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In Taraba State, resident doctors have been in a 2-week-long strike over implementation of a memorandum of understanding signed with the state government in September 2020. Adamu Haruna Adams takes a look at how the industrial action is taking a toll on the people of the state.
Inadequate appropriate personal protective equipment for health workers, non-implementation of revised hazard and COVID-19 inducement allowances, non-implementation of 100% adjusted salary structure, and improvement of manpower in Taraba State healthcare sector, among other issues, are the reasons for the indefinite strike by resident doctors in the state.
Government's inability to honor the MOE. The action is actually open for negotiations. And because we actually want to go back to work, and we also don't want our people and the indigents of Taraba State to suffer, we've had just one meeting and nothing tangible was actually was offered.
The strike has paralyzed the state healthcare system as all state-owned healthcare facilities are not attending to patients. Mrs. Askra Titus is the only patient left at the female medical ward of the Taraba State Specialist Hospital. She enjoys the company of her children and relations, while the resident doctors' industrial action continue to take its toll.
But I'm not happy because this strike, and just you pay the doctor and he's resumed the strike and he's continued the work.
However, the chief medical director of the specialist hospital and the state commissioner of health say efforts are being made to resolve the strike.
We are taking it seriously to negotiate with them because the sudden increase in number of cases of COVID-19 tells you that we're in the second wave of the pandemic. So we cannot afford to have a paralyzed health system.
Without the doctors, we cannot really do much in terms of patient care. We have patients coming for emergency cases, the clinics. So the patient load has increased now.
As it is, the residents of Jalingo and environs only access medical care from the Federal Medical Center, Jalingo, and private hospitals. In Jalingo, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
We'll take a pause here to join Awal in our Lagos studio for more on the bulletin.
Ayo DJ. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his administration will not spare any effort to ensure that protection of lives and property is given top priority. He was speaking at the passing out parade of 1,250 community policing and special constabulary officers in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the details.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, whose speech was read by his Chief of Staff, Tayo Ayinde, assured that his administration will place priority on the welfare of the police officers in order to boost their morale for effective service to the state. He noted that the issue of security of lives and property is germane to the state government. While advising the officers to abide by the operational guidelines, he urged Lagosians to embrace the initiative of community policing.
The major responsibility is to support the operation of the state police command through the provision of credible and timely intelligence on activities within the community which might result in perpetration of crime and threats to security of life and property.
Inspector General of Police Adamu Mohammed was represented by the Commandant of the Police College.
As you might have known, you as community police officers are very strong stakeholders in maintaining law and order and the protection of lives and property.
We will partner with the Commissioner of Police and ensure that we have a better secure environment. It's when we do that we can continue to live in peace.
There is need for us to put resources together
It's when we put resources together that we can achieve a peaceful environment.
The personal parade of the special constabulary officers drawn from the various local government councils in the state was witnessed by the State Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumosu, and traditional rulers across the state. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Celebrating young people who have made outstanding achievements on the African continent have been described as impetus to becoming change agents. To this end, the Future Africa Leaders Awards recognized 10 young Africans who have positively impacted their communities. Uzizi Arure reports.
They are young Africans between the ages of 16 and 31. They have one thing in common: passion to make a difference in their various countries. These young leaders engage in sustainable development projects that add values to the lives of their immediate communities.
I started with the construction of school libraries for public secondary schools in my community. We started with the book drive project.
We did several trainings as far as web development is concerned. We did several training as far as robotics is concerned. And we equally developed several platforms that could be more relevant to our community. And one of such platforms was a blood donation management system.
I created a special booklet and I added 3 subjects: mathematics, English, and science. So this booklet, I designed it in a way that the children can revise, can study at home.
Propelled by the entrepreneurial and leadership qualities of these young Africans in meeting challenges on the African continent, the Future Africa Leaders Awards was established. The aim is to recognize and reward them for their contributions to their communities.
The foundation identifies youths who have the potential to be remarkable leaders within their communities and nations. The foundation fosters these young leaders through training and support initiatives.
As world leaders grapple with finding lasting solutions to the current pandemic, the message on the lips of these young Africans is that African youths should begin to harness the potential in them by initiating projects that will complement government efforts at improving the lives of its citizens. In Lagos, Uzezi Arire, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, it's back to Ayodiji in Abuja. Ayo.
Thanks, Awal. Nigeria's next general election may be far from now, but the National Youth Democratic Party, NYDP, although not yet registered, is already putting requisite machineries in place to ensure it makes the desired impact in 2023. Charles Alpha tells us more.
There have been lots of rising political aspirations among the Nigerian youths since the not too young to run bill was signed into law by President Buhari. The quest to contribute to building the nation where there will be equal opportunity for all, it's one of its cravings as the National Youth Democratic Party, NYDP, addresses journalists in Abuja on its lofty ambitions for 2023.
We are building a political party with integrity and credibility so that our political space as a nation can enjoy the positive values of building a system.
In consolidating on past achievements, the party's leadership believes it will strive to create jobs for the youth, tackle insecurity, provide adequate infrastructure while making the life of the ordinary Nigerian meaningful. While NYDP intensifies efforts to be registered with INEC, the national chairman claims that its over 150 million members across the country will provide sterling competition when the race for the next political dispensation begins. In Abuja, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The atmosphere of peace in Rivers State has been attributed to the spread of developmental projects across the state. This was the submission of Senator Ali Ndume while inaugurating the Eleme Afam Oyibo Road in the state. Ogedi Nyekwere completes the report.
The construction of the 11.5 kilometers Eleme Afam Oyibo Road by the Rivers State government, the road was a nightmare to residents and the motoring public. Its deplorable state hampered the movement of farm produce as well as access to the Eleme petrochemical and the refinery. The 8.5 meter wide with 7 kilometers drainage Eleme Afam Oyibo Road traverses two local government areas of Eleme and Oyibo as well as a leadway to other parts of Ogoni land. Governor Wike assured the Ogonis of more development projects and commended them for supporting the contracting firm to successfully complete the project.
The day I came for campaign, I promised that this road will be done. And today, by the grace of God, we are commissioning this road.
Inaugurating the project, Senator Ali Ndume praised Governor Wike for his efforts to return Rivers State to its Garden City status. He tasked both indigenes and residents to own the project by protecting it.
Don't allow people to come and start digging the tar road, trying to get pipe across it without permission from the government. The government has done its own. The responsibility of road maintenance is yours.
Senator Ndume enjoined Rivers people to continue to maintain peace in their various localities. In Eleme, Ogedinyekwere, NTA News.
Border communities have been charged to support Nigerian security agencies to secure the nation's borders. Shehu Muhammad Datti reports that the comptroller of the Nigerian Customs Service in charge of Sokoto Zamfara Command, Abdul Hamid Ma'aji, made the call at the symbolic reopening of the Ilela border as directed by President Muhammadu Buhari. The report.
Since the closure of marine and land borders in August 2019, economic activities were grounded in all the border communities. With the announcement for the reopening of the borders in December 2020, trans-border traders expressed joy over the development, but activities did not kick off immediately as the traders expected, and many were disappointed. This ceremony symbolized the reopening of the Ilela border by the Nigeria Customs Service, hence the need for collaboration and cooperation of the border communities against illicit activities.
The import and export guidelines still remain the same. There are no changes about it. And for anybody that have anything to do with import or export, the door is open with customs. You can come to us, we make it available to you, whatever your request, so that you will know how to carry out your operations.
Border communities pledge to support the security personnel in the discharge of their duties. Officials from the neighboring Niger Republic were led by the governor of Kwani and pledged to abide by the rules governing border. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Plans are on to deploy better technology to adequately manage Nigeria's land borders. Comptroller General of Immigration, Muhammad Babandede, made the remark while on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Daniel Aderiye reports.
Use of technology. The Nigerian immigration boss says the existing infrastructure, such as the road networks, will be upgraded to reduce the high rate of smuggling and other illegal activities currently on the rise along the country's land borders.
If you look at our region, there is no huge investment in terms of roads. In short, it is much easier for you to go to France from Abuja than to go to the capital of Niger. You know, it is sad. So if you have a village across Nigerian border and you have a road far away where immigration or customs is seated, and the road is even worse than the bush, people will take the bush. We need to build infrastructure.
The other guests were in agreement with the Comptroller General's comments on technology. They however advise that border communities be given priority through provision of basic and social amenities as a means to securing and guaranteeing trust and enhancing collaboration.
If you come in there as a police officer, you are to give assistance. You are also to work closely with the immigration and the customs. And therefore, you should not come in there and show superiority.
Work with the border communities to make sure the security agents, and then provide them with these facilities that will make them feel to belong, to be able to cooperate with you, to give you the information that you require.
You begin to have local subnational entities, that is state governments and local governments, provide schools and hospitals in these places because there are federal officers there.
They urge traditional institutions and state and non-state actors to collaborate with security agencies to aid the process of effective border policing. In Abuja, Daniel Aderiye, NTA News.
More than 30,000 farmers in 20 local government areas that were affected by flooding in 2020 farming season in Jigawa State are beginning to receive farm inputs for the irrigation farming exercise. The distribution of inputs was flagged off in Malamaduri local government area with a call on the farmers to ensure judicious use of the inputs to augment what they lost to the disaster. Muhammad Musa Askira has details.
Farm inputs, which include liquid fertilizer, seeds, sprayers and other agrochemicals, are being disbursed to the farmers by the Jigawa State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA. The items were left over from the 2018 palliative donated to the state by the federal government for the victims of flood disaster in that year.
Nobody can actually take away all the pains of every individual that suffered some loss from the flood. But these are palliatives that have been brought to the farmers. It is an indication that the federal government, under the leadership of His Excellency the President Muhammad Buhari, and the state under the leadership of His Excellency the Governor, all or both levels are very much interested in agriculture.
We are giving directives to come and give these agrochemicals and seedlings to some of the farmers affected by the flood this year.
More than 3,000 farmers in Malamaduri local government, the venue for the inauguration, will receive the farm inputs for the dry season farming in the area.
Muna neman irin wa'annan kayan da za mu yi amfani da su a gona saboda dama muna yin noman rani da damana muna son irin wannan kayayyakin saboda dama wani lokacin rahin irin wannan kayan ne yake hana mu yi noma da za mu samu ingantaccen abu mai ma'ana.
These, according to the distributors, is the beginning of more agricultural palliatives to come the way of the victims of the flood disaster in the state. Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Ondo State government has commenced the process of returning some schools previously owned and administered by various missions in the state. Abiola Ario reports that the planned handover by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu is already attracting commendations from some sections of the state.
For some time now, the standard of education in Nigeria has been a source of concern to many, a situation which informed agitations for the return of mission schools to the initial owners. To ensure a seamless process, some criteria must be met by the missionaries, which include assurance that the released institutions will not discriminate against any admission seeker.
As time will come to return secondary schools to their past owners. If the missionaries are ready, why should we fight shy of returning to them?
We realize that the state of the schools have become so deplorable, and we are no longer serving the purpose for which they were established in the first place.
Stakeholders believe that with joint efforts, the education sector will be able to compete favorably with their counterparts in developed countries. In Akure, Abiola Ario, NTA News.
It's time now to join Mohammed in Maiduguri, where the federal government is raising a new generation of farmers.
Many thanks, Ayodeji, and welcome to Maiduguri. More than 2,000 youths in Borno State will be trained and equipped in fish farming and processing under the Young Farmer Scheme of the federal government. This was brought to fore when Executive Secretary of National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, Prince Paul Ikone, paid a courtesy call on Governor Babagana Umar Zulum at the Government House Maiduguri as part of official engagement in the state. Mohammed Goni reports.
Borno State has landmass of about 76,000 square kilometers, a substantial part of which is arable. This informed the decision of the state government to procure state-of-the-art agricultural mechanization to harness the potential, but the laudable objective was hampered by the decade-long insurgency. The Zulum-led administration is committed to resuscitation of the agricultural sector as displaced communities are being gradually resettled. The visit by the NALDA official, which the executive secretary, Prince Paul Ikonne, said was at the instant of President Muhammadu Buhari with a mandate to recover and put to use NALDA's abundant lands across the nation. State authorities believe will complement efforts of the state government.
Has been chosen as one of the states for all the pilot programs of NALDA. We have seen what you are doing, we have seen your equipment. It makes it very easy for NALDA to partner with you.
Prince Paul Ikonne also announced that NALDA will purchase 2 million pieces of bags from Borno industry to boost the economy of the state. Governor Bagana Umara thanked NALDA officials for the partnership and patronage of Borno industry, saying the state government will interface with NALDA officials in the quest to improve agricultural value chain and to provide livelihoods to the IDPs.
Government in Borno State do everything possible to collaborate with NALDA for the betterment of our people, especially in 3 critical areas.
Professor Zulum stressed the need to be proactive in resuscitation of the agriculture in the state, especially in areas declared safe. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
In compliance with the National Policy on Water Supply and Sanitation of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Chad Basin Development Authority (CBDA) has embarked on provision of toilet facilities and boreholes within the Lake Chad region amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Murjanatu Hassan reports.
The Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Policy focuses on issues relating to rural water supply and sanitation, which devolves more responsibility to rural communities towards assisting them obtain water supply facilities directly and to maintain such facilities themselves. Therefore, the provision of toilet facilities and boreholes by the Chad Basin Development Authority in Borno and Yobe states is also part of effort to tackle the menace of open defecation. This is one of the water projects constructed by Chad Basin Development Authority. Here with me is the ward head of Usman T. Bagoni Usman.
Muna shan wahalan ruwa dare da rana, amma gashi alhamdulillah mutanen nisa ma suna zuwa suna mori wannan bohol da suka yi.
Mun gode ma Chad Basin. Mun gode mishi. Chad Basin Development Authority askran da plena and the Borno State timber seller ya amdone kata kausar din Borno gaba.
According to the management of the authority, the project will go a long way in assisting the people of the region in boosting farming activities and enhance environmental hygiene. Water pumps were also distributed to farmers in Depchi, Gaidam, Gamborungala, Jere, and Kondga as part of efforts to enhance irrigation in the Lake Chad area. The beneficiaries are optimistic that the projects will bring transformational change to their lives. In Maiduguri, Murjanatu Hassan, NTA News.
Those are the stories from this end. Nationwide continues after the commercial break.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
hear say them they rape about 35% of them girl pikin, and even them women safe. Some of them they even die in the process. Emotional trauma uncle, they make some of them be like say they no did this one again, they don't go, but they still they live like ghosts. Some of them shame don't kuku make them go kill themselves. It no good though. This no be our culture. It no fit be the African way. Why we can't allow this kind of yet enjoy body with us so they loud well. If you know they fear law where man put, you know they fear Baba God there. You self, you where they cover mouth so you see mini wanna they happen. You know why here when the Oyibo talk say problem where they bring come out, they solve and sharply. Remember, person wey feel rape, if it's a key person, if it be you, if it be your pikin, if it be person them where you love well. So make we learn they carry women then like diamond where we be. No grief for rape.
NTA News 24, a 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
StarTimes channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
You're welcome back. The police in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State have commenced prosecution proceedings against 4 persons involved in a child abuse case brought in a petition before the State Police Command. The petition from an aggrieved mother, one Deborah Achibong, accused the management of a boarding school and some students of the said school of ignoring repeated complaints of abuse of a minor in their care. Consequent upon investigation, the police proceeded to initiate action against 4 members of staff of the school and 2 students whose actions or inactions negated extant laws. While the 4 members of staff were charged to a magistrate court, the 2 students were charged to a juvenile court. Residents of Port Harcourt City and suburbs across River States are clamoring for improved security as they urge security agencies to be proactive in crimes prevention. This is coming against the backdrop of reports of security infractions witnessed in the state in 2020, ranging from kidnapping, piracy, and extrajudicial killings. Robinson Diratede has details.
The year 2020 in River State may not have fared well in terms of security, particularly in the area of kidnapping in certain areas of the state. In 2020, there were reports of the murder of kidnapped victims, frequent attack by pirates, particularly on the Bonny waterways, and the extrajudicial killing of not less than 4 persons by trigger-happy police officers. The police was, however, commended for the reduction of crime along the east-west and Owerri roads and the arrest and killing of some kidnapped kingpins in the year under review. In terms of the protection of critical infrastructure and prevention of illegal bunkering, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps was rated high.
We want the government to put more effort, to spend more money, invest more in curbing the rate of insecurity in the states.
It was a little improvement compared to the previous years, owing to probably the inauguration of the different horse parks in the local government.
The police promised to increase its crime prevention mechanism in 2021, but appealed for the cooperation of the public in terms of timely intelligence sharing.
We want to employ all our sundry to come on board. Let's police rivers commands together. Let them share credible and actionable information to us.
All areas and divisional commands have been charged to carry out regular officers training to prevent unprofessional conducts. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Teratede, NTA News.
The Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello, has expressed deep sympathy over the demise of 14 passengers in a fatal accident at Old Akpata along Lokoja-Obajana Road. A statement by the State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Kingsley Fanwo, says men of the Federal Road Safety Corps have evacuated the deceased from the scene of the accident. The Kogi State Governor assures the people that his administration will strengthen road safety measures to ensure that loss of lives are averted, with a plea to the FRSC to intensify its surveillance and ensure that road users obey traffic laws, as well as worthy vehicles alone ply the roads. The governor prayed God to grant the families of the deceased the fortitude to bear the loss. Now sports. Reactions trail Golden Eaglets Enyimba Games midweek. Kene Emma Agbodike tells us more on sports.